are we tied to? Where is our allegiance? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, says, he who separates himself a handspan from the collective, from the body, from the ummah, and dies as if he were never Muslim. He is like the sheep who is strayed from the herd and who is eaten by the wolf. Where is that concept of being a part of the body? And again, this is the important thing, because when we look at the tool, the contract of bay'ah, we understand that concerning the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, people did not take bay'ah on the basis of belief or iman. They took the bay'ah to establish the authority, that he was the ruler. They took shahada as a confirmation of iman and faith and belief. But as far as bay'ah, it is a contract between the leader and the people. And as Muslims, we must mature as the body has begun to mature. When we look around, they say by the year 2000, which is not far off by their calendar, Islam will be the second largest religion in this country. We contend that it is already. They estimate the Muslim population in this country to be between 8 and 10 million and growing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he increases one Muslim at a time. He expands the universe one Muslim at a time. So that consciousness that goes with it, the responsibility of the body to begin to, from amongst themselves, because the Prophet in his tradition related, he says that the Banu Israel, they had prophets, and the prophets came one after another. After one prophet died, another would come. He says, but among us, he says, there will be no other prophet. He said, but there will be khalifa, there will be the Khalifa, there will be those, and he said there will be many Khalifa that will come to rule. So we see again the Rashidite Khalifa, Abu Bakr Siddiq, Umar ibn Khattab, Uthman, Ali, all of these companions of the Prophet who rose to leadership positions so as to keep the Islam flowing, to keep the hearing and obeying in the context of doing that what Allah has commanded it to do. So as Muslims, our sense of sacrifice has to deal with the sacrificing of our individuality as we have been taught. We have to begin to be conscious that the real threat is not the failure of the computer. When they talk to you about the year 2000, the collapse, the Y2K bug as they call it, that's not the real threat as long as the sun rises. As long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows you to understand and get up and know the conditions for salat. The computer at best is a frail instrument of technology, of man's mindset. All you got to do is pull the plug and you render it totally useless. So how is it that we think that Armageddon, that the day of Yawm al-Akhir lies upon the failure of the computer? So much so that we are in fear, in a state of fear of it. No. That's because we lose sight in terms of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, the reality. When it is time for Fajr, where are those who abandon their sleep to go to Fajr because they understand sacrifice? When it is time to make the prayer, for congregational prayer is 27 times greater in blessings for the men. For the women, the superior prayer is the prayer they pray at home, even closeted. But where are those who make the sacrifice for the Fajr by going to bed after the Isha? Again, unless we have that level of commitment, then the sacrifice of the animal is just a minor thing. We're just looking for food. We're just killing him for show. Until we really learn to deal with the nafsi, or moral, the evil of self. If you can't beat yourself, you can't beat nobody else. If you can't get up to Fajr, what makes you think you'll get up to fight? And believe me, concerning the fight is imminent. The Prophet said, never pray for war, and when it comes, be patient. Never pray for war, and when it comes, be patient. Why? Because it's inevitable, because Allah says truth comes and falsehood is vanquished. Truth smashes the brains out of falsehood. But where are those who are making the preparations to deal with that conflict when it comes? Again, how do you prepare yourself for it? Prayer 5 times a day. Fasting in the month of Ramadan. Voluntary fasting. Charity, zakat, which literally means to take from what you have as a means of purifying what you keep. Where are those who consciously reach in their pockets to give so as to support the Islamic movement? And the Hajj is the pilgrimage, when Allah gathers on the basis of a call all of those who say that they worship Allah, so that they become witnesses against themselves and give testimony to the fact that Allah just issues a call, and proclaim the call for Hajj. And you will see them coming on lean camels because of long distance travel. And you will see them coming from distant places, from all around the globe. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life issues a call, and those who respond to the call, Allah has made them submissive. But in the hereafter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about a day when He will call, and everything in creation will be summons to His call involuntarily. You won't have a choice. So in this life, all praise is due to Allah who has made us Muslims. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, where Muslims are throughout the world, enable them to understand that the reality of dealing with their situation lies within their ability to worship, to do the ibadah. And when they fight them because of the ibadah, then we are commanded to fight against them. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the sense of values. If we value dunya over what Allah has given us as deen, then Allah leaves us where He finds us, where we take ourselves. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us conscious, and those Muslims throughout the world, as to what time it is. By the token of time and through the ages, Allah says man is a loser unless he is able to do good deeds, and that he counsels each other to truth, and he counsels each other to patience. Wal-as inna al-insana lafi khusri illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. By the token of time and through the ages, man is a loser unless he has the ability, in the sense of counseling each other to truth and patience, and that he has good conduct. And these are the things that we ask Allah to give us, for it is not the military might, nor even the numbers that determine victory. We look at the situation again concerning the Prophet Musa alayhi salatu salam, when he went to the Banu Israel, who they say had been enslaved for 400 years by Pharaoh. And he went to them, and he did not appeal to them to arm themselves or militarily prepare themselves for war. Allah said He went to them and He commanded upon them, and turn your houses into places of worship and establish prayer. And turn your houses into places of worship.